Welcome to Voice Within. Sometimes we hold on so tightly to people, to memories, to mistakes, to what could have been. We convince ourselves that if we just try harder, if we just wait longer, something will change. But the truth is, not everything meant to stay will stay. And not everything we lose is truly a loss. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about making space for peace, for healing, for new beginnings. So today, I want to share something personal, a story about how I learned to let go and how that changed everything. Part 1. Holding on too long. For a long time, I was afraid to let go. I held on to people who had already walked away. I replayed conversations in my head, wondering what I could have said differently. I scrolled through old messages, looked at photos that only brought pain, and told myself that maybe things could go back to the way they were. But they never did, because the past is not a place we can live in forever. It took me years to understand that holding on doesn't keep things from breaking. Sometimes it just keeps you from healing. There were nights I couldn't sleep, thinking about the what ifs. What if I had done more? What if I had stayed quieter, been stronger, been different? But every what if became a chain around my heart. And one day I realized I wasn't holding on to love or hope anymore. I was holding on to pain. That was the day I whispered to myself, it's time to let go. Part 2. The Fear of Empty Hands. Letting go sounds simple, but it feels like loss. It feels like standing in an empty room after everyone's left. It feels like silence where laughter used to be. It feels like closing a door you once prayed would stay open. When I first started letting go, I felt lost. My hands were empty, and for a while, I didn't know what to do with the emptiness. We're taught that letting go means losing something, but no one tells us that it's also gaining space. Space for peace, space for growth, space for who we're becoming. Sometimes we have to release what's heavy to make room for what's right. And slowly, I began to understand. My empty hands weren't a sign of loss. They were a sign of readiness. Part 3. What letting go really means. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending something never happened. It means accepting that it did and deciding to stop letting it control your heart. It's saying, yes, it hurt. Yes, I cared. But I deserve peace more than pain. It's not a single moment. It's a process. Some days you'll feel free. Other days the memories will come back like waves. But each wave that crashes teaches you something new, that you can stand again, even after being knocked down. Letting go is learning to breathe again, to wake up without the weight of yesterday pressing on your chest, to realize that peace isn't found in holding tighter, it's found in finally releasing your grip. Part 4. The Mirror of the Past. There was a day I sat in front of an old photo. It was me, smiling, surrounded by people who were no longer in my life. And for a moment, I felt that familiar ache. Then I looked closer. That version of me had no idea what was coming. No idea how much I'd grow, how many times I'd fall and rise again. And suddenly, I felt grateful. Grateful that life didn't go according to my old plans. Because if it did, I'd still be stuck in moments that weren't meant for my future. Sometimes, what feels like loss is actually protection. Sometimes, the things we let go are the very things that make space for who we're meant to become. Part 5. The Weight We Carry. We carry so many things that were never ours to hold. Guilt for things we couldn't control. Shame for not being perfect. Memories that should have faded long ago. I carried all of that until it began to show. in my tired eyes, in my quiet voice, in the way I stopped trusting joy. But one morning, I looked in the mirror and asked myself, what if the only thing standing between you and peace is your refusal to let go? And that question changed everything. Because it wasn't the past that was holding me back. It was me holding on to it. When I started to let go, not all at once, but piece by piece, I noticed the air felt lighter. My heart beat softer, and I began to recognize myself again. Part 6. The space that follows. There's a strange beauty in emptiness after letting go. At first, it feels like something's missing. But then, slowly, you begin to notice what's been waiting underneath. Peace, calm, clarity. When you stop replaying the past, you start living the present. You see the sky again. You taste your morning coffee. You laugh without wondering who's watching. That's the quiet gift of letting go. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's soft, like a whisper that says, "You're finally free." Part 7. People, Seasons, and Change. Not everyone who starts with you will stay with you. Some people are chapters, not the whole story. And that's okay. The truth is, we grow and they grow, sometimes in different directions. And if you keep forcing people or moments to stay, you'll never see the beauty of what's next. Letting go doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you stop begging for love to stay where it no longer belongs. You wish them well, you release them with grace, and you continue walking your path, lighter, freer, stronger. Part 8. Becoming someone new. Every time we let go, we make room for a new version of ourselves. A version that understands peace is not found in control. It's found in surrender. Letting go taught me that life is not about holding everything together. It's about trusting that what's meant for you will always find you, even if you've let go of everything else. I started noticing the small miracles, new people, unexpected chances, quiet moments of calm, things I never noticed when I was clinging to the past. And I realized I wasn't losing anything. I was simply making space for better things to arrive. Part 9. The Gentle Freedom. Freedom doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it comes in silence. In the morning, you wake up and realize you didn't think about them today. In the moment you stop checking your phone, stop revisiting old wounds, stop needing closure that will never come. That's freedom. It's quiet, steady, and deeply healing. It's the moment your heart says, "I can move on now." What letting go teaches you. Letting go teaches you patience, because healing doesn't happen overnight. It teaches you trust, because you must believe that what's gone was never meant to stay. It teaches you gratitude, because pain too is a teacher. And most of all, it teaches you peace. Because when you finally stop fighting the past, you make room for the present to love you again. Letting go isn't a weakness. It's one of the strongest things you'll ever do, because it takes courage to release what once felt like your world. So, to anyone listening who's holding on too tightly, to someone, to something, to a version of yourself, this is your reminder. You don't have to carry it anymore. Breathe. Forgive. Release. Letting go doesn't erase your story. It helps you turn the page. And what comes next is yours to write. Thank you for listening. This is Voice Within, a place where we heal, where we grow, and where we finally learn the power of letting go.